Okay, I've cooked my carrots and now you can see that I've spread them to the sides. Okay? They're nice and brown, but not too brown. Okay? Next I'm going to add the onion straight from the cookie sheet into the middle of the pan. Now, you're going to want to cook that for 3 minutes. 3 minutes, okay? Stir them just in the middle so that you can get them nice and flat. See how I'm just poking? Oh, sorry. I'm just poking up and down with the chopstick to get them nice and flat on the surface. If you have to move the carrots out of the way, go ahead. It's not going to hurt anything because you've already cooked the carrots most of the way through. Now, one of the reasons that I chose carrots, red cabbage, and green zucchini is because mushrooms and onions are kind of a bland color. It's really important to get a lot of different colors in your diet because the colors are the things that have more nutrients. If we have more nutrients, guess what? Our health rises. And most of these things were really cheap. Okay, all of them were. I think the whole thing cost me about $5. $5. So, there you go. I have the onions cooking. I'm going to cook them for how many minutes more? 2 more because we've already cooked it for 1. Okay, I'm just stirring a little bit, but mostly I'm just poking at it to break up the little pieces. Okay, the temperature is right at 5.5. Okay, now if I put the lid on it to keep the steam in, is that going to be okay? Yeah, it's not going to be a problem at all. Okay, so the interesting thing about vegetables is that everybody says, oh, I hate vegetables. I was one of those people. But here's the thing, and this goes for all food. There are so many different ways to make things and so many different things out there to eat that you kind of owe it to yourself to try more than one thing. So, for example, if you've never tried a squash, you can either email me and ask, hey, how do I cook this thing? Or you can go online and you can find recipes, you can find ways to cook them, all that sort of thing. Okay? Our 2 minutes is up, so I'm going to remove the lid. I'm going to stir and combine the carrots with the onion. Then I'm going to make a well in the middle, just like I did with the carrots. And I'm going to put the zucchini in. Now this is the time where, remember, I have half of a tablespoon left. Well, take half of it and pour it in after you put in your zucchini. Okay? So let's give that a try. Lid off. Ready? Turn it over. I don't want to put the steam back into the vegetables yet because it'll splatter all over. Okay, now I'm stirring to combine. This is what it looks like, okay? They all have a little bit of char on them, but that char is just the sugar coming out, okay? Okay, I'm lowering the temperature to 5 now. That's half of the cooking temperature available. Make a well in the middle. Push your carrots and your onions to the side. Put the zucchini in. See? No more zucchini. And then take some of your oil, just some, and pour it over top. Now what I just did was I poured the oil into the pile of zucchini. Why? Because that way it won't splatter all over me and burn me. Okay? Next, I'm going to stir the zucchini that's in the well. I'm going to keep the carrots and the onions off to the side because they're still cooking, but I don't need them to actively cook a lot, okay? So you got your carrots and your onions on the side, you have your zucchini in the middle, and you stir it around to brown it. It's going to take about 1 minute to cook it so that it's slightly browned. Okay, now I'm just going to pat it flat, just like I did with the onions and the carrots, and I'm going to let that cook for a minute, okay? Sure, it's okay to put the lid back on. Now, in the meantime, what do I have left? You remember what these are? These are the mushrooms, and you remember what this is? This is the red cabbage. Now, mushrooms, like I said, are very soft. I can break it with my fingers. They soak up flavors and liquids of everything that it's with, okay? So we do them last. Okay, I'm going to push that away so that I can remember to do it last. Now, I have these beautiful, beautiful red cabbage. Now they're in little squares. If I chew on one right now, how's it going to taste? Well, cabbage is kind of earthy. It has a taste that you get toward the end of the bite, and then it has a little tang at the end of it. So it delivers the flavors in 3 different steps. After you cook it, you lose the tang, and you lose that bitter kind of taste. It mellows out, okay? All right, that's been our 1 minute. This time I'm going to let the steam stay in the skillet, okay? So I shake the lid over the pan so that the water goes back into the skillet. And I always try to be really careful with my lid. I lift it so that it's away from me, the flat of the lid faces me, so that the steam goes out toward the back of the stove. Okay, we've browned the zucchini. See how we have little brown bits there? Okay, stir the whole thing to combine it. You know your stove is still on, okay? Now, you have cabbage and you have mushrooms left. I'm going to make another well in the middle of my skillet. What am I going to put there? That's right. I am going to put the cabbage in. Okay? All of that cabbage is in there. Guess what I'm going to do with the last of the oil? Yep. I'm going to put it on top of the cabbage and let it drip off for a moment or so. Okay? Now you can hear it start to make splattering sounds. Okay? That's the water from the cabbage combining with the oil. Now I'm going to flatten out my cabbage, put the lid back on, and let it cook for 2 minutes more. So you see how we started out with this really easy thing. Everything weighed the same. Okay, I used a scale, and I'll show you my scale. I used this scale to measure everything. This button that's kind of torn off, that's the on button. So I push the on button, and it comes up on this screen. 0 ounces. Now the reason it's changing is because it's sideways. but it's 0 ounces, 0 pounds, all that sort of thing. I measure 3 ounces of each vegetable, put them in order of soft to hard or hard to soft, whatever works best for me. And then I dice. After I dice, they're in their own little piles, separated, and I start to cook. Now that's been 1 minute. So I have my chopstick. I'm going to remove the lid and I'm going to let that's right, steam fall into the pan. Because now it's just condensation water. I put the lid down, and you see what we have here is the cabbage is softer. There's still some crunch to it, but you haven't cooked it down all the way. Is it okay to mix the whole thing together? Yeah, totally. Okay, so I'm mixing from one side, bring the side into the middle, just like we do when we're making a cake batter. From the side into the middle, and it's mixing everything up. Now, if I were going to make this a stir fry with meat, honestly, I would start out with the meat, because usually meat it takes longer to cook. Sometimes you have to cook the meat in the pan and then remove it and put it in later. Okay, I'm making a well in the middle. I'm going to cook the mushroom. And I'm going to add a tablespoon, nice even tablespoon of garlic right beside it. Okay, so you see how I have the mix, I have the mushroom, I have the garlic. Cook for 3 minutes, mix it all together, and serve. It tastes great. The flavors complement each other, and you're eating something that's good for you. Although, don't tell your little sister it's good for you. I'll see you later. Bye.